good on this overcast day, Jay.
No, all right, Aries. Well, we're glad to have you. We have you each and every week. We are blessed and honored to have you on. And Aries, let's go to our five takeaways versus Wake Forest. Of course, last week was a bye week, so we took the week off. And it was a game that we really looked at that we thought was going to be a blowout. We thought the Tigers were going to come out and be really hungry and being at home. We thought it was going to be a revenge game from last year, but instead we just barely eked by 17 to 12. And the first thing that we heard was quarterback play, and of course. Klubnik has came out and said it was, he could have done a lot of things better than what he did last week. What was your take on it?
Definitely didn't think that we performed up to the capabilities that I know we are able to, based off especially coming off that Syracuse in that Florida State game offensively. I thought we had some things that were finally looking to click, and just to be disappointed at Wake Forest because we were 21-point favorites.
Yeah.
21-point favorites in that game, and to not even score at all in the first quarter. We just didn't look polished at all. The turnovers, like I said, we got to still continue to clean those up, and we just need to be more consistently playing. And we need some guys that's gonna have to step up. I know Tyler. I know he's still young, and he had a down game that game, Tyler Brown. But I mean, that's to be expected as a freshman young receiver. But I think he'll bounce back. I think we need to get Will going more. Just 19 carries for 97 yards and a TD versus Wake Forest. Come on now, we're talking about Will Shipley.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no way in the world. And we lost the competition in the air. Cade 18 for 28, 131 yards, and Griffiths 15 for 25, 137 yards. So they were better than us in the air. I mean, we got them on the ground in total yards overall offensively, but it should have been a whole lot more lopsided than what it was. Yeah. I guess is what I'm trying to get to, Jay.
Yeah, I agree with you. And what's your thoughts? There's been a lot of talk about Brendan Stool not pulling his weight or not. How the thought was he was going to be the best thing since sliced bread. Bring everybody back to Clemson's past of having great tight ends.
Yeah.
And now there's talk that they want Sage Enos to be the tight end out on the field to start. What is your thoughts? I mean, because a lot of times things can get misconstrued, just like he was talking about with Tyler Brown. He had a muff punt. He allowed one to go down to the 5. I mean, there was a lot more that had to do with special teams. But like you said, he's a freshman. I mean,
yeah.
and he didn't come in for spring ball. He didn't show up until fall camp.
Right.
So it was a whole different kind of learning curve. And though he's been phenomenal, I think people need to give him that benefit of the doubt that, hey, I'm still learning this offense. I'm still learning the special teams. And, yeah, I've earned the right to be out on the field, but I'm still going to make a freshman mistake here or there.
You're exactly right. And people just have to definitely be more understanding that, and just hopefully for him, we're going into the game tomorrow, like versus an opponent like Miami did. He just puts. I know he had that bye week. Hopefully that's water under the bridge. That he's had a successful week of practice the last 2 weeks, and that he just learns from those mistakes that he made in that game. Just being a young collegiate player athlete. And I think I have confidence that he'll be fine because he's a guy. I've seen him play. He's showed up for us nice. One of our leading receivers, with the little bit of experience he has. So I expected him to answer and step up to the plate this week.
Adam Randall, being a wide receiver, you should know this. He's not being used, or at least not as much as a lot of people want him to. And they're afraid now that he's probably going to be one of those ones that's either going to be let go, or I shouldn't say let go. He's going to ask to leave and go somewhere else and transfer out. What is your thoughts on Adam Randall? I mean, last year you really couldn't hold that against him. He was injured at the first year and had to battle, and he battled his way back. But the expectation room as a whole. What is your thoughts on Adam Randall right now?
I think he could help us out as long as I think it's just a matter of just knowing your personnel, putting your players in the best position possible to be successful. Like I know I read an article or so. We don't necessarily know the behind the scenes scenarios or whatnot, but as far as not seeing as much playing time or hitting the field as much as we would think based off what we thought he could be for us offensively at the wide receiver position. So I don't know what the intricate details of that looks like, but we need to figure something out. Like he's a specimen. You look at him, see, I was like, we got to be able to find him some type of package in order to help us offensively. Add another dynamic to our offensive threat, especially in the air attack. But I think we need to really roll the dice on him and give him a real genuine opportunity to show us what he can do. I think we deserve to see that. And if he doesn't pan out, then you decide you want to leave the portal, then you can't say that we didn't give you an opportunity, but just not to be given opportunity at all. That's a little different, and that can be frustrating as a player, especially when you're a competitor and you want to be out on the football field competing. I would leave too, especially with today's nature of the game. I'm going to the point. I'm gonna go somewhere that somebody's gonna use me.
I agree with you. And, we all know that everybody wants the ball. When you got six guys, you got two in the backfield and four out there on the out playing out. As wide receivers, everybody wants that ball to come to them. Plus, you got guys on the sideline that want to get in the game. You got all these freshmen that are trying to become millionaires overnight by catching a ball with one hand and all this kind of other things that like back when I was watching football and you were playing it, it wasn't like that. You wanted to get that, you wanted to have that play on Sports Center, but that wasn't what everybody's about. Now it's just like, well, if I get that one big play, then that means I can get seen by everybody and I can go to a different school where I know I can be the number one wide receiver and not have to fight the other ones that are coming in. But this leads me to the next thing. We're going to Miami. Miami is reeling. I mean, they started off hot. They upset Texas A&M, which of course now we know Texas A&M isn't what they was supposed to be. So that upset doesn't look as big. They've made some boneheaded plays at the end of games, coaching calls, which Miami knew what they got with Cristobal. I mean, this is not the first time that he's made a bonehead decision. Last week, North Carolina cooked them. I mean, they played strong for a quarter or two, and then that was it. North Carolina blew them out after that. So tell us what our offense needs to do to be better in this game going into Miami. In a crowd that we're not sure what the turnout's going to be. Now they're saying the weather's going to be pretty good that night, but still, we're talking about Miami. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, that's going to be. It's just they have tradition. They have winning tradition down there, down in the Orange Bowl. So we're going to have to definitely bring our A game. We're just going to be hitting on all cylinders. No missed cues, no missed assignments. People are going to have to step up, make plays. We need, like I said, mentioned earlier, Tyler Brown to bounce back from the week before. Get his head on, come ready to compete. This will be a good measurement, a test for him to see where he stacks up in this league, in the ACC versus a worthy opponent, a real true worthy opponent in the Miami Hurricanes. We need a good game out of Bowl, definitely. And we need. I think we need to feed Shipley more. I think we need to feed Shipley more, and we need to pound the rock with Maffa and get our running game established and just assert our dominance in that run game. And I think everything else will open up in itself. And K definitely has to protect the football. We can't have like that handoff exchange between him and Will in that Wake Forest game. It looked like K was trying to give it to him, but it's like he wasn't trying to give it to him. He put the ball.
Yeah.
We can't have nothing like that down there in Miami. We can't have no turnovers like that. We don't need anything to deter the momentum from us. We need to go on there and hit them in the
offense, they're ranked 35th. Scoring offense, 46th. Rushing offense, they're 34. So we're doing decent in the rushing, but still not Clemson. Passing offense, we're 59th in the nation. And then the worst thing that I've never seen Clemson, at least not in the last 10, 15 years, red zone offense, we're ranked 119th. That's unfreaking real. When you talk about Clemson.
Exactly, and with the athletes and the weapons that we have in the backfield, I think from the games I've seen and I've been able to pay attention to from start to finish, I think we get down there and we start overcoaching. I think we overcoach down there as opposed to just keep it simple, stupid. Just run the ball, just run the ball, you run the ball. I don't need an RPO call. We know we got a young quarterback, an experienced quarterback. He's a good quarterback, but he still has a lot to learn. Don't put so much on his plate down there in the red zone, especially when we're trying to score. And all the more so in a game like this Miami game coming up tomorrow. We just need to keep it simple down there in the red zone and not try to be cute. We don't need defense. We line up, hey, I'm running down right at you. You know it's coming.
Yeah.
Just run the ball. Just run play and do what it do.
I agree with you. Now, one thing that we can say is that the defense has been pulling their weight this year.
Yes, they have.
They're
gonna need it. Definitely, Jake. They definitely gonna need it. When we talk about statistics offensively in comparison, Miami leads the ACC total offense, 501 yards a game.
Exactly.
Second in scoring, 37, almost 38 points a game. Second in passing, and third in rushing. So our defense gonna have a true test tomorrow night, Jake.
I agree with you 100%. But I think one thing that I can trust right now is Wes Goodwin. I think the Brent Venables shadow is gone now. I think he is stepping out of that. He is creating his own shadow. He's doing his own thing. And I think the guys are buying into it. I think last year was the learning curve. And plus he dealt with, Razi's sister passed away, which Razi wasn't in the games as much as he should have been. There was a lot of freak injuries last year. Every time you turned around, it was like, as a Clemson fan, I was one. It was like, you couldn't get excited all week because when it came Saturday morning, you was afraid to look at the injury report. Yeah, who's playing? It was always some freak accident that happened during the week, or no one saw so-and-so get injured, and nothing was said about it till Saturday when you look at who's going to be suiting up and who wasn't. And it was just one of those things that you was worried about. And this year it hasn't been as bad because luckily we've kind of known who's injured and who isn't. But I think that Goodwin is definitely putting his own shadow out there, and he's got this defense believing. Total defense, we're 7th. Scoring defense, 33rd. And a lot of that had to do with Duke. Rush defense, 11th. Passing yards allowed, 19th. And red zone, 17th. So he's keeping that defense in a very good tier. Bend but don't break. But at the same time, they're going after people. And I think that's the great thing about the Clemson defense right now is that they're playing on a whole different level. They're keeping the offense in the game. But at the same time, like you made a point last time we talked, is, you can't keep turning the ball over in the area where the other team's going to score automatically, a field goal or a touchdown. You turn the ball over, getting them at 3, giving it to them at 13, giving them at 22. It's just like, short field, and the defense is doing everything they can, but, sometimes you just can't give it all.
Nah, you can't. You definitely can't, especially with this game, with it being a game of inches, game of inches and, field position, we can't
constantly on the field more than what they should have been, or normally are. I think they're conditioned enough to do it at this point because they've been doing it, but at the same time, I think that's never been what the Clemson defense has been about. It's been about keeping that fresh set of guys out on the field to run it. And I've noticed a lot more of the quick huddle against Clemson now than ever before, trying to keep the guys that are out there on the field there and not allow them to trade out like they used to.
Yeah. And I mean, that's smart on the opponent's point of view. Like, they want to keep that rotation going because they know we got a good stable to keep some fresh guys in there to keep them coming at you. So
yeah,
I would no huddle on the day too. Thank God it's not like that Rich Rod no huddle.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a whole different kind of.
Thank God it ain't like that because if it was, we'd be in trouble.
Now, what's your thought? You did elaborate on special teams already, and your thought was, if I heard you correctly, that maybe we should let Will Shipley do a little bit more on the return game. Do you want to stick with that, or do you think we need to let Tyler Brown keep learning, but just take chances that he might mess up again?
I think, I mean, that's definitely an executive head coaching call by Coach Wayne that he's going to have to make, especially if it's just really going to boil down what are we trying to ultimately accomplish for this season. I mean, if you're willing to roll the dice with the young athlete, then let him stay out there. They ain't going to do nothing but just help boost his confidence. But you got to understand, you got to be patient with him as well and understand that we might have some mistakes like that. But it doesn't matter. It's just reassuring that he's okay. You can make these plays. And we've seen him make those plays this year. It's just a matter of just being consistent and protecting that football. But it's hard. You want to like, yeah, let's let Shipley do it, but he is our number one running back, and you don't want to take that risk of him possibly getting injured in the return game as well too. Now we just got a one back approach coming up because we got that 1-2 approach right now with him and Maffa, so that dynamic is kind of tough.
Could this not be where? I mean, I'm not Dabo Swinney, and I hate double thinking about a coach because they're the ones that are out there each and every day. They see what these guys are capable of.
Yeah.
This seems to me like the place where you put an Adam Randall or one of the guys that's not getting as much touches. Put them in this position. That way Shipley can get his rest. And at the same time, put someone that supposedly be dynamic back there and let Randall do that. I mean, I don't know if that's what Randall wants to do or if Dabo's tried that in practice. I mean, I don't want to second guess Coach Swinney because he knows more about football in his sleep than I know my whole life. But it just seems to me like you'd want to do something like that and that get him more involved, and maybe that would help him be more explosive on offense. I'm just throwing that out there.
No, you're definitely right on that, Jay, and I definitely agree with you. Like I said, we've had high hopes for Randall, and hey, we're not using him anywhere else. I mean, why not put him out there hoping maybe that sparks something for him and sparks something for the offense as well too, as far as just getting things rolling on that. They ain't gonna do nothing but just boost his confidence and just putting the ball in players' hands and letting them do something with it, and potentially seeing if they could, be productive.
Well, we'll throw out some other things that are pertaining to this game. And Miami has lost 4 straight to Clemson since 2015, with the average score being 45-10, including a 40-10 loss last season on the road to Clemson. And I was at that game, and something I noticed.
They had 98 total yards of offense that game.
Yeah.
Miami did.
Yeah, and last year when I was at the game, one thing I noticed, Airese, and it kind of told me about what this Miami team was, at least last year. Whenever the game, they was down I think they was only down 10 points at the time. There was a group of Miami players that was where the coaches were, watching the game. Then there was about 18 to 20. We actually counted them. We was over. That was over in a huddle. We thought they was, getting ready or whatever. But they was over there actually dancing, doing stuff. It was like 18 to 20 of them. And they weren't even watching the game. They was just over there doing this little, dance and stuff. I didn't see any coaches. I saw a coach run over there and start jumping them and tell them to get over there, and maybe two or three walked over, but the rest of them were dead. It seemed like they had lost their focus, and they was more worried about dancing to the music that was piped into the stadium than they was watching the football game.
Hey, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all, Jay. These kids are different, man. These kids are different. I see it all the time. Like I said, I'm not coaching this year, but I've been coaching high school football for about 10 years, and you'd be surprised at stuff you see out there. He's like, man, you got your phone with you right now? It's like really, like you got your phone with you right now during pregame. Like, who does that? Like, there's stupid stuff like that. It goes on. It goes on. Yeah. So I'm not surprised.
It just was weird.
It's like, where's your focus there? I'm not thinking about being on my cell phone or trying to make a TikTok video right now about the game during halftime. I'm focused on what I need to correct on X and O's from the first half or vice, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
So.
Then something else that was brought up that Sweeney said this week, and want to get your thoughts. He's like, we are at a point in time, and I hate that this is happening. We're people, and the quotations was think, if you don't go undefeated, you're losers and you're terrible, said Sweeney on his radio show. It's just such a terrible mindset, honestly. Maybe we need to lose a few games to lighten up the bandwagon. Sometimes the bandwagon can get a little too full.
Yeah. I agree. People definitely have unrealistic expectations and understand, like, it's not going to be perfect all the time. Like, and that's why you need to just be grateful for those moments when they do happen.
All right.
There's just too many dynamics that goes into play to having a perfect season all the time. Injuries, coaching chemistry, player chemistry, locker room chemistry. There's just so much that goes into that.
I agree. Well, now, Airese, we get to our predictions for this week. And I know I'm going to let you go first and give your predictions for your 5 predictions for this week, and tell us what you think.
Okay, I didn't come up with any particular scores this week, but I do have some, I might have an upset or so in here, 1 or 2, but I got the Buckeyes over Penn State.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a really good. I think that's going to be a really good game, though. But I think the Buckeyes will come out on top. I got Tennessee over Bama.
Yes.
It's Nick Saban, but just what I've seen out of Bama this year, I'm not impressed at all.
I'm not either.
I think Tennessee can pull off that upset. I got Oregon over Washington State. I don't think Washington State is going to have enough for Oregon. They're just so explosive offensively, and they get out there pretty good on the defensive side too.
Yep.
And I got FSU over Duke. I like Duke. I think Duke could potentially win as long as some things went in their favor. But I think Florida State is going to have a little bit too much for them. It's going to be tough to get a win down at Oklahoma Stadium. That's one of the more hostile environments that I was able to play in. So I think that's going to be tough for Duke to go down there and get a win at Florida State. And lastly, I have Texas just slaughtering University of Houston. And I don't think that's going to be close. I don't see that being close. If it is, Texas definitely played down to their level of competition, but I think that'd be a huge blowout, that game, Texas over University of Houston.
All right, well, I'm going to do mine real quick. Give me Penn State over Ohio State. I'm going to go. I think the Nittany Lions finally get over the hump. Well, not only that, remember I picked Penn State to be in my Final Four, so I still want them to be there. And then I've got UCF upsetting Oklahoma. Give me UCF over Oklahoma. Brett Venables will lose this game. I think the Sooners are a little too cocky right now. And give me UCF. Next one, I'm going to agree with you. I got Tennessee over Alabama. I think that Alabama is overrated. I'm just not happy with what I see from them. And I can't do it. I got Missouri over South Carolina. Sorry, Gamecock fans, it ain't happening. Missouri's just too good of a team right now. And then my final one, give me UConn over South Florida. I'm gonna pick a game that a lot of people are not really even looking at, playing with.
I looked at that game today. I can see that happening. I can see that happening.
And then a game I'm actually. Go ahead.
No, I was saying I like that pick there. I like it.
And then a game that I'm covering, give me Furman over Western Carolina for being the top dog in the Southern Conference. Go Paladins.
Okay.
So,
yes, sir. I like it.
Yep. All right. Well, let's get our Clemson predictions in before we go. You go first.
I got us winning. I think we come out victorious. We have a game offensively like we had that Syracuse and Florida State games. I think we come out victorious 31-24. I got the Clemson Tigers going down there in the Orange Bowl upsetting our ranked opponent, the Miami Hurricanes.
And I'll tell you what my score is going to be. It's going to be Clemson 41, Miami 7. That's right. We go down there, we destroy them. Cristobal is on the hot seat tomorrow morning, and it's going to be one of those things when we come back cheering and laughing and having fun. The Clemson of old has returned, and everybody's excited again, and we go undefeated the rest of the year. That's what my hopes are. So guess what, fans? You don't even need my prediction other than the score. We're going undefeated the rest of the year. But Airese, tell us a little bit about what you're doing, how they can get in touch with you, and we'll call it the day.
Okay, well, I'm down here in the Columbia, South Carolina area, the Midlands, so I'm down here in Gamecock country, but I started my own sports performance training company, so I'm working with athletes of all sports. If you're looking to get quicker, faster, stronger, whatever that may be, as far as enhancing your level, feel free to contact me. Email address aresecurrie@gmail.com, or you can reach out to me on Instagram, Airese_Currie. It's on IG, as well as Airese Currie on Facebook, and Airese Currie on Twitter /X, since it's called X now. But you can reach out to me either one of those ways. And also the office manager at our family medicine clinic, Lions Heart Primary Care, where we're putting the heart back into healthcare. If you need any DOT physical, sports physical, IV therapy, weight loss management, just regular primary care needs, feel free to contact us at lionsheartprimary.com or 844-759-6647. And that is Lions Heart Primary Care for all your family medicine needs.
All right, folks. Well, we got about 30 seconds. I'm just wanting to thank everybody here at Arden's Burger and Grill in Central South Carolina. Of course, we're at the Arden's Burger and Grill Studios. We'd like to thank Donnie and Angie. Come by, see them. As you heard in our opening, double dip wings every single Wednesday. Come in, get them early. Catering, tailgates. If you want to have the best food at your tailgate, come see Donnie and Angie. Call them at least 3 days in advance. That way they can have it ready for you first thing on Saturday morning. We'd like to thank you for having us, and we'll see you next week, Airese, and hopefully it's going to be after a big win, and go Tigers.